So I'm going to keep telling you what's going on and what they're talking about. So they said this program, quote unquote, started when I was a little girl. So they said they thought it started when they said I was 10. So my point to them is this. If you guys are abusing 10-year-olds, to me, a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, 5-year-old, it's the same. This is abusive. Look what it does. So if you're abusing a bunch of 10-year-olds because they said it prepares children for marriage, that's my point. When they say that this situation is normal and in some groups, I'm not in that group. I don't get married at 10. I was never going to get married at 10. They said some cultures they get married at about 12 or 13. I'm not in that culture. They shouldn't have included me. The second part of that, so one part is I'm not in a culture where we marry at 10, 11, 12, or 13. First thing, I'm not in that culture. Second part of that is I don't think that should happen. I don't believe in any form of child brides or child marriage. I don't care if that offends someone. I'm entitled to have my opinion. See, I got to tell you, let me go to the second thing and then I'll tell you my issue with this. The second thing about that, so I don't believe that child abuse should occur on any level. The second part of that is that these people seem to think that they have more of a right to be in my life than I allow them or even my mother allowed them. That's my point. They keep twisting the situation after the fact. I'm going to be 50 this year. I'm 49. I was 10, 39 years ago. Let's do the math here. 39 years ago, we're going to make this seem like I was going to be married at 11 or 12. This is ridiculous stuff now. The second part about that is that, so I'm not in a culture. I'm not even associated with these people. The bigger issue that I was going to get to is that I don't have to believe in child marriage. So they said, well, don't you think you're going to offend people in different places? Why the hell would they be offended that I don't believe in child marriages and I don't want a child marriage? Not from any children. Why? They seem to keep, part of what they're trying to do is make me think that I am so important in everyone's lives that I have to believe in everything. Then if that's the case, what if I say, well, you know what? I believe in this and I believe that I would be just like them. I would be someone who can't understand that I have the rights of any other human being on this earth to have opinions, to express my opinions, to be able to not believe in every little thing they want me to believe in. See, in their minds, I have to be that type of person who's like, oh, I don't believe in child marriages, but I'll say I do to appeal to someone. Hell no. Hell no. That's what this title of this video will be. Hell no. So they said, you were never like this. Yes, I was. That's how I know they don't know me. So they said, wait a minute. We said you came home from work and talked about what happened, but then we said you never talked about things. I always talk about things. That's how come they said, oh, you didn't have any true friendships. Yes, I did. And those people know, oh, this is who I am. And that's part of why they had to do this way, because they didn't want to approach me with the facts, because this is who I am. Hell no to children being married at 10, 11, or 12 years old. It could be okay in some cultures, but for me, it isn't. So they wanted to say, well, the United States should allow it. Hell no. We're not going to allow little children to be married. It's child abuse. And that's why we had to create child marriage laws, and we had to make sure that various states that had these child marriage laws actually carried through with it. We're not going to go back to that. That's what I'm saying. I said it in a previous video. We've come too far to turn back now. That's Helen Reddy, I Am Woman. And that's my point. We've come too far. We're going to go back in time, and you think I'm going to be the person to help you guys go back to a time where children were working in factories at 9 years old, where children were being married off at 11 or 12? No. And why would you even want me to be involved? You know how many, it just is too ridiculous. So here's the next part about that. The next part about that is they said that they thought I would not be able to remember things. If you're talking to me 24/7, telling your version of stories that you weren't a part of to try to get me to tell my version of a story that you weren't a part of, then you're the ones that are creating memory loss. So they said, well, aren't you afraid? I'm not afraid. That's the point. That was what this system was. It's designed to terrorize. So now I'm supposed to be terrorized that I'll say the wrong thing. Terrorized that I'm offending people who believe. What the fuck? Why would I be terrorized that I'm offending people who believe in child marriages when that's the group I want to offend? So then they want to talk as though I'm talking. So they said, well, this really doesn't sound like you. So they're creating AI of a black woman who's being terrorized by the people who believe in child marriages. Who the hell wants that AI? That's my point to these folks. You guys created a system to make people go nuts, to hit us in the head at certain areas and keep doing it over and over and over again, to follow people around, to record them on a hot mic saying what? Nothing. If you listen to everything they accuse me of saying over how many years? What they said, it started over 39 years. It's a bunch of nothing. It's a bunch of shit. And that's what they give. Someone said that they take my ideas and give me shit back. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So this is what they've given me. So they've taken my good ideas. So they have examples of good ideas I've had. This whole AI was supposed to take my idea. So they said, are you scared that you're on camera and you can talk? No, because I make sure that I stay up long enough so that my voice is good. I try not to come on camera when I can't talk, because then what would I be doing on camera? That's the whole point. I'm on camera when my voice is good. This is my point to them. Here, you notice the words. Aren't you scared? Aren't you angry? Aren't you ashamed? Aren't you? You see that? It's that manipulative. It's manipulative. The other point about that. So we went through the, I don't want children to marry as children. I just don't. And I think there are other people who don't. I don't want to not offend child marriage advocates. I want to offend them. I don't want to be part of this culture that they wanted me to be a part of. And that's part of the issue. They wanted to force a relationship. And isn't that the point? If someone wants to force a relationship with you, isn't that the very group of people you want to offend? You don't want them. I don't want them. So I want to offend them. I don't want you. The other point is that if these people believe in this, then they should be able to get enough people who do want them. But if they can't get enough people who want them, they have to do this. That's my point. They have to say, nobody loves you. You're unlovable. Aren't you afraid to offend people? That's a certain type of group mindset. And that's part of what I want to get to. That part of what they are is they want to force themselves on people. It probably works. Someone's asked me, do I think that this was happening to me as a child? And I've said repeatedly, all of this, the total of all of this started in 2016. They even admitted that they wanted to recreate and reactivate this system, which means it wasn't activated, or they said recreate. It wasn't created as of that time. So what they did was they went back and found people who have these stalker tendencies, who want me to be part of their lives that I don't want. That's exactly how they did it. And what I'm telling you is this. If someone wants you to be part of their lives and you don't want them, that person has a problem. It's not only a problem with who they are, meaning why would you want someone who doesn't want you? But it's a problem with the mindset that I have to be around them, because in their minds, I'm I'm something like I'm telling you, they think I'm some person that everyone in the world should care about. No, it's their mindset. And it tells you a lot about their psychological operation. So they did a psychological operation on me based on their narcissism, which made them think that I'm somebody they must be around. And if I don't associate with them, and if you don't associate with these types of people, they get you. And what I'm telling you folks is that is their mindset. Because in their minds, there are certain people that they must associate with. And if they don't associate with those people, they must hurt those people for not associating with them. And that's what made me their target, in addition to all the other reasons. And I think that is my point. They wanted me to support these types of issues and believe these types of things, to feel that if I say the wrong thing, I'm not going to be loved. If I say the wrong thing, I'm going to be afraid. No. If I say the wrong thing, first of all, not supporting child marriages is not saying the wrong thing. That's saying the right thing. I don't support it. I will never support it. I will never want to ever not offend a child marriage supporter. Those are the people I want to offend. But that goes back to the things that they seem to believe in. So I'm going to tell you their psychological operation. They believe in stealing from people. They believe in inflicting punishment. They believe in creating technology to make children sexual, which to me is the biggest crime of all. That's the worst crime, the very worst crime you can commit against anyone. They believe in judging people. They believe in spending millions of dollars to steal people's personalities and likeness and name and talents to create AI so that they don't have to hire those people. And that's the issue that I'm talking about. So all of these things you can tell about their psychology and what they believe in. It shows in how they treat people. They thought it was okay to hit me in the head. They thought it was okay to make me look like this, to hit me in certain areas, to make certain areas swell. And once that swelling and inflammation occurs, that's what brings this out. So why am I okay with coming on camera and when I feel well and not show my disability? Because that's the point. It causes inflammation and swelling. So once the inflammation and swelling occurs, you start to see this. And when I'm rested, my voice is good. The disability isn't as obvious. So they said, are you upset that you said that if you could have, you would have been able to suppress it and get a job and go back on your life? No, that's what you see me trying to do. If I could stop my body from doing all this stuff, I would, and I would go back to work and I would have my life back. But they took away my life and I cannot do anything about it. I can't. This is going to be my life for the rest of my life. So they want to know, well, why don't you care? If I didn't care about my health, then I wouldn't be doing all these things. They're the ones who don't care. They're projecting their feelings, their emotions onto me. They're talking in the background of my videos because they feel they must be a part of my life. They said they wasted 39 years, probably more, on me. No, they chose to waste 39 years on me. So why would they be the people that I would take advice from? I wouldn't. They don't know how to manage their lives, let alone manage my life. And that's the big issue about this. The issue was they initially thought that these whatever that they created helped me. No, it hurt them. That was the whole point. This is about them hurting themselves and them wanting to find blame. Well, maybe if we can latch on, they said to me, well, maybe if all of us could latch on to your success, then we would feel better about ourselves. That's the problem. That is really the psychological, that's really the psychological operation on them. That's the mindset. If we can latch on to somebody who's successful, then we'll be successful. That doesn't make you successful. It doesn't. It doesn't. And especially if you have to hit the person in the head, stalk and harass and talk to them 24/7 to latch on to them. That doesn't make you successful. This is an unsuccessful situation. And for all the other victims, they are upset because it now validates those victims' experiences. So that's what I'm going to call this also. It validates the victim's experiences, that there are people out there who target you to latch onto your success, and when you don't want them, bring you down. That's what they do. When you don't want these types of people, they bring you down, even if it means coming up with issues years later. So they wanted me to tell you folks, the video that's uploading, when I gave the example, happened, if not 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago. That's the point. If they had always been in my life and always been having done this, they wouldn't have these issues with finding times and dates and talking about things from decades ago. That's the point. Thank you for watching.